so that people come to me instead of my competition. Right? Because if I am constantly settling for then I lose customers. If I lose customers, I lose money. If I lose money, I can't keep my employees, or I can't pay myself, and therefore things get worse. Right? Gosh, this is one of those kind of personal / I mean, if you guys have, for me this week we have a competition that my group is going to, and if we don't do well, the parents aren't happy. If the parents aren't happy, they don't want to pay their money to keep on coming back and learning new skills and getting better and competing. So then I lose people next season, or some people drop off right now. Right? But I'm doing this for myself to make myself better, but then it provides competition. The nice thing about this, who benefits in the end? When more people are trying to become better and better and better and better, who benefits from those companies fighting each other? You guys. We do, right? You guys may have heard of Coca-Cola over the weekend. Anybody hear about the issue with Coca-Cola? So they have a new training mechanism, and one of the things that they're providing their new employees is, what was the phraseology? How to deal with whiteness. So Coca-Cola has gone down this avenue with their training. Right? So as a customer, if I'm not happy with Coca-Cola for doing this, what do I get to do? Stop buying Coca-Cola. That's my only avenue to fix this. But if I'm in favor of them doing this, I go out and start buying Coca-Cola, right? So who might benefit from me not buying Coca-Cola? Pepsi, right? A couple years ago, this is one of those things where social things and economics go hand in hand. A couple years ago, Target came out with allowing people transgender to go into whatever bathroom they identify as, and they made this public statement, and people stopped shopping at Target. They had a massive loss of income, stock prices dropped, people stopped investing in them, and Walmart said nothing. So guess where everyone started going? They're going to Walmart, right? So there are social issues that can apply to economics as well.
Teachers, please excuse the interruption. If you are a first period homeroom instructor and have not taken your attendance, please submit that now in Power Teacher. Thank you.
It's not difficult. Matter of fact, the other day when Black River was late, I had already submitted attendance. I was like, oh crap. Send an email. But again, there are things that we as consumers can impact, right? They're always trying to get you to come to their store. Trying to think, there's Starbucks and there's Dunkin' Donuts. So if I go back, let's go back, gosh, in your lifetime, how far should I go? Let's go back 10 years. So you guys were what, 6, 7 years old-ish, somewhere around there. At that point in time, does anybody remember what Dunkin' Donuts used to just serve? Does anybody know the name of the company I just mentioned? Yes.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say they just sold donuts.
You got it. They had donuts and they had coffee. That was it. Donuts, coffee. Nothing more than that. So you went in, if you wanted donuts, you go to Dunkin' Donuts. And my parents actually liked Dunkin' Donuts coffee, so you could get coffee. And you could get decaf or you could get regular. And that was it. And I want to say that's probably even older, like in your lifetime, I think they started adding all this stuff. Now what do they have?
They have these refreshers, they have like energy drinks, they have all that sort of stuff.
Right. Why do they do that? Because Starbucks has this. So how do we compete with a company that's taking away our breakfast people? I have to start providing them with things that Starbucks is providing. Another good one, who here's been to Chipotle? Imagine it. At one point in life, if you've ever just walked past Chipotle, or walked through or been there with your friends. In Brunswick, there's a place right across the street almost.
Oh,
Hothead.
Hot.
I had burrito. okay? And they're almost a direct competition, actually, they are a direct competition too. Now, what did Hothead have that Chipotle didn't have, and that Chipotle started providing after Hothead showed up?
Wasn't it like the queso?
The queso. Yep. So Hothead had the queso, Chipotle didn't, because Chipotle was more on the healthier side. But people started going, hey, do you have, Hothead has it, do you have it? And so they went, okay. Because what do they want you guys to do? Keep going back to Chipotle. Provide the people what they want. If they're happy, they come back.
One thing I like in Hot Heads that Chipotle really doesn't have is like whenever like I get a bowl, like Hot Heads has like the range,
Uh-huh,
and then Chipotle doesn't, so like I like that like on my food.
uh-huh. And so that's the thing too, as a customer, you're gonna go to Hotheads. And so the only way for them to get you to come back to Chipotle is to offer that range type dressing. So we all have our restaurants, yes, sir.
So is Hot Heads, I've never been, or is it like kind of like?
It's basically like Chipotle.
It's literally,
Like
you walk
Chipotle.
in,
Like these
same setup, you walk up,
You walk up, you make your bowl or your burrito,
I
and
was gonna ask if Bippy Bob.
then oh,
ah,
that
no,
makes
that's
it
actually a
that's-
good
that's good.
Bring
It's
that up.
Asian correct. It's like an Asian
Yeah, cause
Chipotle.
that's like.
Asian version of Chipotle, right? Because now, here's the deal, we as customers are on this kick of
Where do
like
they go?
kind of going down the line and picking our stuff, almost buffet style, but not really, but it's made fresh. So then Beauty Bot came along and they're like, hey, why don't
They
we
make
provide
it like an Asian
similar? Yeah, so there's that. Now I'm just waiting for somebody else to hop up on the scene and provide a version of the same thing.
There's a more local level.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like it's called Mishiso.
Okay, where's that?
It's in Westlake and Cleveland.
Okay,
They have like kind of more unhealthier versions of Asian food, but it's still
same,
basically
similar.
the same thing.
Similar, yeah. Now that I'm saying this, not that one, but one that I think you guys all probably are aware of, Panda Express.
Yeah.
Right, I think Beauty Bot is the healthy version
Um,
of Panda Express, right, where you go up and you want that. And they put it in for you.
oh my God.
Here's another one for you guys. Has anybody been to 16-bit? There's one in Akron,
Never.
there's one in Lakewood, because you brought up Westlake and I thought of this. It's an interesting, now, first of all, you guys have to be with an adult, that's the key. So it has to be 21 old, because the place is focused on alcohol. But if you're buying alcohol, or you're with someone who's buying alcohol, all the video games, 16-bit, because it's all based off of the 1980s, all that stuff. So you walk in, and they have Segas, they have some PlayStations, but not like the new ones, like the old.
Yeah.
They have the N64, Nintendo 64 with little joystick in the middle of it. And then they have all the old big, huge arcade games in the corner. They have pinball. And then all you do is you go up and you press 1 or 2. You want to do a 2-player. And it's free. You just play as many video games as you want, but you have to be buying alcohol. Or if you're with your parents that are buying alcohol, they have kids' drinks as well, right? But you can't go in as a kid because it's an alcohol-based product. Now here's a little niche that they've done. They don't serve any food. No food, but they allow you to bring in any food you want. So if you wanted to go there and have Domino's deliver a pizza to you, you have a pizza. There's tables all over the place, and you bring your own food, and then they'll just throw the garbage away for you. But it's one of those things where so think about the cost to them. They got to pay their rent, right? Electric, gas, all those things. But now they're just buying alcohol and garbage bags. They're not worrying about food. They're not worrying about cooks. They're not worrying about any of that stuff, right? So I'm just waiting for, and that actually, as I'm saying that would be almost a direct competition to like Dave and Buster's or
I
C75.
was gonna say, like, it's kind of like a direct competition to kind of like geek out in Brunswick.
Yeah, that's so perfect.
That's like a direct competition to geek out because they have games, they have alcohol, they have food.
Yeah, so
and
that would
everything
be
else.
their one up. Like, we don't just, so we make food for you. But most of it's like greasy, hole in the wall.
I mean, yeah, like the
bar
wings,
food,
burgers, and
yeah,
all that. But like, I mean, it's still like a direct competition.
Yeah, no,
Like,
you're right.
I follow them on Facebook and everything. Like they do like karaoke night, game night, and all
Yeah.
that.
But can you bring your own food and eat that?
No, that's the thing. So that's the drawback. But again, that's the lovely thing about competition. We're always trying to figure out what's the next best thing, the newest, right? Speaking of Scene 75, that was something that came in, how long has it been
Oh,
around now?
God,
Like
a
6 or
couple
7
of
years?
years ago.
But that's a direct competition to Dave and Buster's,
Yeah.
like direct, like there's
Yeah.
no,
They have a location in Cleveland, Guy Brunswick, and then
Now, here's the other thing too, who's the clientele for Scene 75 and who's the clientele for Dave and Buster's? Think of like who the demographic is, who are they focusing on?
Like family.
Yeah, family, kids, right? And they even designed it like that, because they have the bar in the middle, it's a circle.
Yeah.
So it's right in the middle, so you can just sit there with your friends and you can just keep on looking around and go, oh, there's Susie,
Yeah,
there's John.
there's.
Whereas Dave and Buster's is more older.
Yeah, it's more.
You
older
can still bring kids.
Yeah.
But it's focused more on like 20s and 20s to 40s, 20s to 50s.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
Well, I also seen some podcast food truck island.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. It's a little more on the you pick whatever food you want from these choices, whereas Dave and Buster's is a formal. You can actually get meals and
Yeah.
dinners.
It's,
Um,
I think it's Dave Buster's and it's gonna be BW3.
Yeah. Speaking of BW3s, will be some direct fights or competitions with BW3s. On tap,
On tap, Fat Edge,
fatheads.
Applebee's.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's providing wings or meals, I mean, there's all these competitions that we have. Matter of fact, Chef and Restaurant is directly competing with all the local businesses on Fridays specifically, because you guys are doing the family meals. So, and this is the thing too, the competition and self-interest, it's a constant regulation. Because let's go back to the prices. Like Cheesecake Factory is a great place, I showed you guys that menu, right? But it's expensive. So yeah, I wanna go with my friends and I would love to have cheesecake, but I just can't afford it.
The cheesecake is expensive though, $50.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go to Applebee's and get myself something from there. So the prices too is a constant battle. Lower the price, raise the price. Here's a coupon, here's a gift card, anything we can to get you guys in. This provides us something called the invisible hand. So this is a theory. There's this invisible hand out there that kind of regulates the market, right? So on a silly note, if I was to offer you guys a pizza of your choice, your favorite pizza, and I were to say, okay, $75, your favorite pizza, okay, $75. Anybody interested? How about $50? 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 12. Okay, good. So I found the ground, right? So if I left it up here at $50, I'm losing all of my customers. So what do I have to do to bring you guys in? Bring it down to where, and I, as an owner of the company, have to find the product to make it cheap enough that you guys are still going to enjoy it. I'm still making a little bit of money on the side. Right? On the other side of that, if I was charging you guys $1 for that pizza, would I be making any money? I'd lose money every single pizza. Right? So I've got to bring the price up until I find that point where it's all balanced in. Right? So the invisible hand kind of has this self-regulation behind everything. And the thing about the invisible hand is there is no point do I care about your feelings in regards to you don't like me, that's fine. Do you buy my product? Right? There are times when we go places and we buy things from people because I want that product. Right? There's been I will be honest and tell you that the whole Coca-Cola thing has kind of got me to the point of potentially not buying Coca-Cola. But that brings up something in my head, right? I've got to decide. Do I like Coca-Cola more than my values, or do my values outweigh Coca-Cola flavor? Right? So it's a constant little battle. Yeah.
So what do you mean by like the Coca-Cola has to
So in your employee training, they're providing a new training mechanism for new employees regarding, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but this is what it was on the website, being less white. was one of the things that was in there. Right, so it's kind of on a interesting, yeah. So this right here is, this will take us into the class, but this is, somebody discussing invisible hands.
The reason we have all these products in the supermarket is that greed inspires millions of people all over the world to work together. Take this steak. How did this get here? It's sunrise on Manning Island. At the Weiss farm, David Weiss is saddling up for another 14-hour workday. It's longer during calving season. There's so much work for the ranchers. Fixing fences, digging ditches, feeding the cows, harvesting hay. Why do they work so hard to get their beef to people like me in New York?
Do you think it's because they love people in New York? No, they love themselves. And by promoting their own self-interest, they make sure New Yorkers are happy. It's not because they care about New Yorkers, they care about themselves.
The Weisses are only the first of a series of people who, by caring about themselves, make sure I get my steak. There's Virgil Rasanke, who delivers the propane and heats the cattle water.
Gotta drink water and they can't drink frozen water.
Wanda Nelson keeps the packing house clean.
Make sure the plant is sanitized before we start production.
Then there are the people who slaughter the cattle, who cut the beef, the people who make their knives, their overalls, their protective gear, and the people who make the plastic that seals the meat, and the machines that do the sealing, and the people who pack the meat in boxes, and the people who make the boxes and inspect the boxes.
You gotta check the boxes, make sure they don't get bad boxes.
Then there are the people who run the freezer facilities, the people who track orders by barcode, the people who make the barcode machines, and the truck driver, Randall Gilbert, who's hauling my steak to New York. Thousands of people have to work together to get the food to market. Are they doing all this for me?
No, I don't think of it that way.
No.
I think about making boxes and money.
Who's John Stossel?
I'm no one to Virgil Rasanke.
I never heard of it.
Virgil and all these other people don't really care if some TV correspondent gets his steak, yet they cooperate to make it happen, motivated by self-interest. Is that greed?
We're in the business just like everybody else, we go to make money. Provide for my 3 boys, my wife.
Buys you a house, buys you really nice vehicles.
In a free market, you get more for yourself by serving your fellow man. You don't have to care about him, just serve him. And ask yourself, how much would get done if it all depended on human love and kindness? I feel sorry for New Yorkers in terms of beef. If it all depended on human love and kindness, I doubt whether we would have one cow in New York.
All right, folks, see you tomorrow.
Probably right. And even if we don't like to admit, self-interest, directed by the invisible hand of market prices, explains why steak gets to New Yorkers and why products arrive at the local
See ya.
supermarket.
Have a good
just the
day.
right
You too.
quantity. Some 230 years ago.
All right.
Yes, how you do?
See ya.